Day 134 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, welcome back. Another day, another LeetCode problem. Hope y'all are well rested from yesterday's problem. I hope y'all learned something yesterday, and I'm glad y'all are back again for another day, another LeetCode problem, because you already know how we do. We're doing LeetCode problems every day. We're here to help encourage each other to keep going, to keep pushing through, to not pay attention to the effects of burnout. We don't even know what burnout is on this channel. We just keep going and going and going and going. That's what we do. And we encourage others to stay disciplined and stay consistent as well. And we try to keep each other motivated, y'all. Now, with all that being said, don't forget to bring a mouse right over here, y'all. Right here, and click that subscribe button for me, y'all. Then after you click that subscribe button, go ahead and smash that like button for me, y'all. And then after you smash that like button, I'm calling all of my bankers. I repeat, all of my bankers to the comment section right now. I need y'all to drop 2 bank emojis in the comment section so we can run up this engagement and we can help push this content out to a broader audience. As part of the Swift community, y'all, it's our job to get more people interested in learning about the Swift community. And in order to do that, we just have to try to push out this content to as many people as possible, y'all. So your support is appreciated. Go ahead over to the comment section and drop those 2 bank emojis in the comment section for me, y'all. Thank you very much. And now let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the question. And today we have question number 412. Fizz Buzz. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as well. Right now, we're in the middle of about 30. We're trying to do 30 easy strings so we could build a foundation and we could strengthen our fundamentals for when we go further down our LeetCode journey. So that's what we're doing right now. We're in the process of doing 30 strings. 30 easy strings. I'm not sure which one we're on, but hey, that's where we're at, and this is the problem we have today. So let's see what it says. It says, given an integer n, return a string array, answer 1 index where answer I is equal to FizzBuzz if I is divisible by 3 and 5. Answer if I is equal to Fizz if I is divisible by 3. And answer if I is equal to Buzz if I is divisible by 5. And answer I is equal to I as a string if none of the conditions are true. So let's break that down and see what they mean. So first thing we want to look at, we have a string array that's 1 index. So that means we're starting to count from 1. We're not starting to count from 0, y'all. We normally count indexes starting from 0, but in the 1 index, we're starting from 1. So n equals 3. So we have 3 elements, 1, 2, and 3, right? And so we look at 1, I is equal to I as a string if none of the conditions are true. So 1 is not divisible by 3 or 5, so we could cancel all these out because it's not divisible by 3 or 5. 2, same thing. It's not divisible by 3 or 5, so we could just put a 2. Now 3 is divisible by 3 but not 5, so if we have an answer I that's divisible by 3, we put Fizz. So we put a Fizz right here for 3 because it's divisible by 3, but it's not divisible by 5. If it was divisible by 3 and 5, we put Fizz Buzz, as you'll see in a further example. Or if it's divisible by 5, we put a Buzz. So let's look at example 2 so we can make that make sense. In example 2, we have n equals 5, so that means we have 5 indexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So at 1, it's not divisible by 3 or 5, so we just put a 1. 2 is not divisible by 3 or 5, so we just put a 2. 3 is divisible by 3, so we put a Fizz right here for 3. 4 is not divisible by 3 or 5, so we put a 4. And Buzz is divisible by 5, so we put a Buzz because it's divisible by 5 but not 3. So let's look at example 3. This time the input is 15. We're going to go through this a little quickly just because we know how it's working now. So we have 3 right here. So that's where we put the Fizz. Then we have a 5 right here. So that's why we have a Buzz. Then we have a 6 right here. 6 is divisible by 3. So we put a Fizz right there. Then we have 7, 8. Then we have a Fizz at 9 because 9 is divisible by 3. Then we have a Buzz at 10 because 10 is divisible by 5. Then we have a Fizz at 12 because 12 is divisible by 3. Then we have 13, 14, 15. And we finally got a Fizz Buzz at 15 because 15 is divisible by 3 and 5. So that's how that works, y'all. We're just replacing the numbers that's divisible by 3 with Fizz. We're replacing the numbers that's divisible by 5 with Buzz. And we're replacing the numbers that are divisible by 3 and 5 with Fizz Buzz, y'all. So that's what the question is asking. And now that we know what the question is asking, let's get into the code, the fun part, y'all. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to declare a variable called ands. We're going to put a colon right there. We're going to open up the array brackets. We're going to cast it as a string, and we're going to initialize it with a blank array. Then we're going to do the same thing, declare another variable called number, and we're going to set that equal to n. Then we're going to declare another variable called num, and we're going to set that equal to 1. Then, after we do all of that, we're going to start a while loop. So we're going to say while number is greater than 1. Oh, excuse me, not 1, I'm sorry, greater than 0. What we are going to do is we're going to say if num mod 3 is equal to 0 and num mod 5 is equal to 0, then we are going to come down here and we're going to say ands.append, open up the parentheses, quotation marks, Fizz Buzz, y'all. So what this is going to do, so this right here, this percent sign is looking for the remainder. So what this line is saying is if the number is divided by 3 and the remainder is equal to 0, and the number divided by 5 remainder is equal to 0, then we're going to append Fizz Buzz, right? So this right here is the remainder. This represents the remainder, right? So we want the remainder to be 0 when we divide a number by 3 and 5, because that means it's divisible by 3 and 5, and that means we could print or we could append Fizz Buzz right there. So now let's handle the case if a number is divisible by 3. So we're going to say else if num is mod 3 is equal to 0, open up the brackets. Then we're going to say ands.append, open up the parentheses, quotation marks, Fizz. So what this is going to do is if the num is divided by 3 and the remainder is 0, then we're going to append Fizz, because that means if the remainder is 0, that means that it's divisible by 3. Then we're going to do the same thing for 5. We're going to say else if if num mod 5 is equal to 0. So what that's going to do, what do you think that's going to do, y'all? You guessed it. If a number is divisible by 5, or if the remainder of a number divided by 5 is equal to 0, so that's what that says, then we're going to say ands.append buzz. And we're getting that from right here. If a number is divisible by 5, we want the buzz. So that's where we're getting that from. Then we're just gonna come down here. We're gonna say else, and we're gonna say ands. Open up the ands period append. Open up the parentheses. Then we're gonna say string, because we have to convert it into a string, and we're gonna say num. So that's just gonna append a number, like if it's just a regular number. If it's not divisible by any of these, like this, it's just gonna append a number because it doesn't fall into any of these requirements. So then we're gonna come right here, and we are gonna say num plus equals 1, number. We're gonna increment and decrement num and number. So we're going to say num plus equals 1, number minus equals 1. And then we're going to come down here, and we are just going to return ands. So, y'all, let's see what happens. See if it still works. It should work. See if it works. See if it works. And it's accepted that, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Let's submit it and make sure it's still accepted. And remember, guys, this stuff is case sensitive. So remember to capitalize the B's and the F's. And look at that, y'all. 14 milliseconds beats 31.85% of users with Swift, y'all. That's not too bad, not too bad at all. And this is a good solution, so it's easy to understand. So get one more look at it. All we're doing is checking to see if a number is divisible by another number. If it is, then we're going to append the corresponding word to the ands array. And if we're not, we're just going to append the num to the ands array. And yeah, that's how it's working, y'all. Then we're gonna increment and decrement. You know how that go. And I hope y'all learned something today. Get one more look at the code, and I hope to see y'all tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. Peace.